Welcome to Words of Life Today podcast. I'm Pastor Samuel Obadari. My topic today is the perfect blend. The perfect blend. When you think of a military commander, do words like gentle, humble, warm, caring, soft, loving, or even faith come to mind? I doubt it. Usually we think of bravery, toughness, sternness, being hard, or being cold, and words along those lines. But what if that profile is deficient and inaccurate? Well, there's a man in the Bible that showcases a perfect blend of strength, bravery, courage with tenderness, warmth, care, faith, and fear of God. I'd like to take a brief look at the story of this man and see what we can learn from his life, especially if you are a man. We find his story in Luke chapter 7. He was a Roman centurion. That means he was a professional Roman military commander that was in charge of about 100 soldiers. It is said that the Roman centurions were noted for their bravery, their character, and they were also well paid because of the danger they were exposed to in the front lines in the battles. That means a centurion was not just a soldier, but a person of physical and mental strength, not only for himself, but for the men under his leadership. So let's take a brief look at the story of this man in Luke chapter 7, verse 1 to 10. And I read, "When he, that is Jesus, concluded all these sayings in the hearing of the people, he entered Capernaum, and a certain centurion's servant who was there to him was sick and ready to die. So when he heard about Jesus, he sent elders of the Jews to him, pleading with him to come and heal his servant. And when they came to Jesus, they begged him earnestly, saying that the one for whom he should do this was deserving, for he loves our nation and has built us a synagogue. Then Jesus went with them, and when he was already not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying to him, Lord, do not trouble yourself, for I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof. Therefore I did not even think myself worthy to come to you. But say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I am also a man placed under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard these things, he marveled at him, and turned around and said to the crowd that followed him, I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel. And those who were sent, returning to the house, him well who had been sick." So we have a short story of this centurion, but a lot about him is revealed in this story. The first thing we see here is a strong, brave military commander, a Roman centurion, but he was also a man of great reverence and humility. Though he was a man of honor, prestige, authority, and everything that comes with his position, he said he considered himself unworthy to come to Jesus directly. He said to Jesus, I didn't even consider myself worthy to come to you. And that's why he sent the elders of the Jews to Jesus. What a show of humility. Now, based on his status, he could have exercised his position and authority as a centurion to demand to see Jesus. But instead he said, no, I am not worthy to come directly to you. Wow. But not only that, when Jesus got close to his house, he sent friends. Notice, he didn't send servants. He sent friends to Jesus and said, please, Lord, you don't have to come to my house. I'm not worthy of a man that you should come under his roof. This is an amazing display of humility. I can't come to you directly. I don't consider myself worthy, and you shouldn't come under my roof. Now, he was a Gentile. He was a Roman, and he, knowing the custom of the Jews, realized that a Gentile was not really part of the covenant people of God. And so he recognized Jesus as the Lord. And he thought, well, if the Lord will come under my roof, that will ceremonially defile him. So I don't want him to come under my roof. I don't have that worthiness. This is a powerful display of a man with great reverence for the Lord and humility. But not only that, this centurion was a caring man. Did you notice that it was his servant that was sick? In other words, it was not a child, it was not his wife, it was not a sibling, it was one of the servants, a servant very dear to him. He was so caring about this servant that he went all out and pleaded with the elders of the Jews that Jesus would come and heal his servant. Now, a man of his status probably had several servants, and this servant was probably maybe one of the captives from previous wars. He's probably not a Roman citizen, and in one sense, he probably could have been seen as dispensable. Perhaps the man could have thought, well, I've got many servants, so it's too bad that this one is sick. We'll just get somebody else in his place. No, he was so caring that he went to Jesus through the elders to have this man saved. He was a military commander, but he was also a caring man. Not only that, he was a godly man. The leaders of the Jews said to Jesus, he's deserving to be attended to because he built a synagogue for us. Now, even though he was a Roman, he built a synagogue for the Jews. Now again, as a centurion, a person of authority, he could be mean to the Jews. He could exercise his authority over them. He could even stand in their way of free worship if he wanted to. He could be unkind to them at the least. He was an official of the very powerful Roman Empire, so he could use his authority against them. But instead of doing that, not only did he support them, he actually built a synagogue for them. He was a Gentile, yet he was a godly man. But he wasn't just godly. He was full of faith. When Jesus was close to his house, he said, "No, Lord, you don't have to come. I'm not worthy for you to come under my roof," right? He said to Jesus, "I'm a man under authority, and also I'm a man that exercises authority. I recognize that if you just say a word, speak a word, that's all that is needed. Because I, as a military commander, I say to one, go, he goes. No argument. I say to another one, come, he comes. I say to this servant, do this, and he does it. And by that experience, I understand that you are the Lord of all, and you are not subject to anybody. If you speak the word, it will be executed. You don't even have to come close. You don't have to touch. Just speak, and it will be done. Even though my servant is close to dying, he will come back to life. His faith was so amazing, Jesus marveled. And you know what would cause Jesus to marvel? Must be great. And so Jesus turned around and said to the people, I have not even found this faith in Israel. What an amazing man. A man that feared God, but a man of great faith at the same time. So we see a centurion, a man of power and authority in the society, a man of substance. You had to have some money to build a synagogue, a man of physical and mental toughness, a man of discipline and firmness. You had to be as a centurion. He was by no means a weak man or a feckless man. You had to be strong as a Roman soldier, not to talk of being a Roman centurion. Yet, he had all these things perfectly blended with the other side of humility, of warmth, of love, of care, of fear of God, even of faith in God. This Roman shows that strength and toughness and masculinity are not mutually exclusive with faith and care and love and humility. And likewise, he shows us that godliness, warmth, care, and love do not mean indiscipline or weakness or lack of authority. He said, I'm a man under authority and I exercise authority. Let me put it this way. He had the perfect blend. A man must combine gentleness, love, affection, humility, faith and fear of God with physical strength, mental toughness, discipline, and also authority. That's what this story tells us. So are you a person of power, position, and substance? You don't have to be harsh or hard or cold. Neither should you be weak or wonky because of your faith in God or because of your godliness. It is the perfect blend that every Christian man should have. Be gentle but be firm. Be caring but exercise authority. Be tender-hearted but be tough-minded. Be honorable but also be humble. Be loving but be a leader. This blend is very important for every Christian man, especially for husbands and leaders of institutions. This is what we've learned from the story of this Roman centurion. In closing, I like to say that the inability to blend these attributes together in our lives as men give bad results. So sometimes you see men that have so much power and substance and position and they become power intoxicated. They are very cold, they are very harsh, they are very uncaring. they have no heart. And they say, well, that's just who I am. That's who I have to be to maintain my responsibilities. That's wrong. On the other hand, you see people that are so weak, they are not able to make decisions. They are not able to stand by decisions, and they don't exercise authority. All because, well, I'm a man of faith, I'm a gentle person. That's equally wrong. The Roman centurion says, no, you don't have to be one without being the other. You can have the perfect blend of authority and humility, of softness, also faith in God, but firmness and discipline. That is the perfect blend that every man should have. I hope this has blessed you. Please share this with others, and please kindly subscribe to this podcast. God bless you.